All right. All right. I think we are in business. Welcome to the second Beat the Bag wrap up show. It was a very eventful week. Last week, there were 14 people at 5-0, and one of them went 5-0 again. Knuckle Curve is his name. Extremely impressive. He is at 10-0 and is our new leader at plus 14 units. Hopefully, he joins us this evening. 6 guys were at 4-0-1 heading into last week's action, and one of them, Gooloom, went 5-0 to remain undefeated and sits in second spot at plus 13.20 units. So there are 1,315 people signed up for Beat the Bag, and just two of them, are undefeated after 2 weeks. Week 2, 34 people went 5-0. 6 went 4-0-1. Last week's number 1, USC Philly guy, went 3-2. He won his best bet calling the over in the Packers-Falcons game. He also had Falcons -3, and he hit the Cowboys-Broncos over as well. His first 2 losses of the season were on the Chargers-Dolphins over, and he had the Giants -3 in last night's Monday Nighter. He is now in 13th place, 8-2, and at plus 9.93 units. Other notables. Let's talk about some other notables before we break down the card coming up this week, and hopefully we'll have some guys coming in on our live chat who will help us strategize and break things down. Other notables. The big man on campus is in 132nd place out of 1,315. Very impressive. He went 3-2 this week. He's hit his best bet both weeks. His best bet last week was the Patriots -6. He also hit with the Niners Seahawks under, and he hit with the Titans. He lost with his beloved Eagles and with the Cowboys. He is 6-4 and plus 5.62 units in 2 weeks. Impressive. Another guy who's run with the bag since I started, my guy D. Thomas, is in 141st place, also 6-4 and at plus 5.55 units. Drew Martin is in 1,317th place. He went 3-2 week 1, plus 2.57 units. Felt so good about it, he took week 2 off. I'm not sure if we will see Drew Martin again in week 3. My man Ace Farmer is in 325th place, 5-4-1. He has the same record as me, but Ace has hit both his best bets, whereas I am 1-1 on my best bets. Ace is at plus 2.49 units. Big man says, I'll be honest, Cowboys was a total misclick. Fuck me. That's funny, man. That was, man, did the Broncos ever look good? And is Zeke, what the fuck is up with him, big man? I mean, that's a very strange situation. I guess he's not in a good mood when he's not beating women. Oh, we got Thomo in the game. Nice to have you, my friend. We're just going to break down a few more notables before we break down next week's action. I'm very happy Thomo is here as well. So we got Big Man and Thomo who are going to help us strategize. They are great cappers, so I'm very thankful that they're with us. So as I said, my man Ace Farmer is in 325th. And then our friend Gray Area, he went 5-0 week 1, and he joined us on last week's show. It was great. J.D. Williams is here as well. Dope, man. And he says that Old Dirty Bastard is better than Odell Beckham. Fuck, what's going on with Beckham? He looked, I mean, obviously he's got an ankle injury, but he did not look good. You are right, JD. Our friend Gray Area went 5-0, had a tough week 2, went 1-4, but he's still looking good. 367th out of 1,350 at plus 1.56 units. Oh, we got Thomo here. Yeah, Jimmy, I actually didn't do that well week 1, but did great in the contest. I did very well last week, but lost my best bet, and I didn't do that well in the contest this week. Okay, I hear you, man. Are you talking about the super contest, I'm guessing? Big Man on Campus says Zeke Elliott looks like an Ewok. He does, a very sad Ewok. Let's just break down a few more notables before we get into we got Jimbo Slice. What up, man? Thank you for joining us. It's always better when you guys are in with me. I love it. So we have a few more notables I want to break down before we get into the action. SBR Breadman is 5-2, but after losing his Green Bay best bet, he sits in 444th place at 0.95 units. Oh, he means my contest. Okay. JD missed out. You haven't missed out on the Beat the Bag challenge yet because you only have to do 14 weeks, JD. So you can get in immediately, man. We could get another person in. You just need to make 5 bets a week with one best bet, and you have to make a total of 70 bets. So just got to do 14 of them. And, okay, so let's just do a few more of the notables. Where's the Laughlin whale sitting? That is a good question, big man. Tout Chris Barr is in 1,122nd place in his first week in the competition, going 1-4 at minus 5.58 units. 1,025 people put picks in this week, and Chris Barr managed to beat 75 of them, which means 950 of us stomped on his sloppy pussy. He had the Giants -3 as his best bet, and they lost by 14. I can only hope that none of you watching paid him for that information. My prediction is after a hilariously bad week 1, Chris gives up and makes no more picks in the Beat the Bag contest. Cynthia's, what up, Cynthia? Nice to have you. Thank you for joining us. Right there with Cleveland. We got some people already. Okay, I got some people already talking capping. Let's just do a couple more. That cum guzzler Kobe Valentine is skyrocketed into 900th place, 4-6 at minus 2.77 units. And my man Thomo is saying, man, he missed his best bet. I mean, he's 5-5, but you're only down 0.57 units. You got a great chance to run in this competition, Thomo. You're good. Well, let's get to Big Man says Chris Barr claimed on Twitter that that's not really him. Well, on Twitter, he had the best bet for him as the Giants as well. So I guess a fake Chris Barr and a real Chris Barr are both taking the Giants to win on Monday night. But let's just let's move on, man. Let's move on to some capping, as we got a really big week of action ahead of us. Alex Nogales is here. Thank you for joining us. Okay, we got a good team, man. We got a good team. Let's break into our first game of the night, the Thursday nighter. Let's do this here. Get ourselves set up. We have the Thursday nighter, LA Rams. 1-1 LA Rams, -2 at the 0-2 49ers with an over-under of 40. Thomo says, I post all my picks in the forum so people can see I did well last week, but definitely need to do better in the contest. Thomo, I know you got skills, man. We're only 2 weeks in. It's always harder at the beginning of the season. It's best if we don't bet too much of our bankroll on these games. I started a football fund last week on week 10, and it was extremely successful. But main reason was I had 10 weeks to watch. It always helps when you do that. All right, so let's do this. 1-1 LA Rams, -2 at 0-2 49ers, over under 40. Now, the 49ers defense was impressive, albeit against a terrible offense in the Seahawks, but it was impressive. It's fair to assume that Bowman will look better each week. Solomon Thomas had 3 tackles for a loss. Buckner is a beast. The Niners' front 7 is tough. So what do you guys think of this game? Shanahan called an ultra-conservative game versus Seahawks. The Niners can't score, but Hyde looks very good. The Rams lost to the Niners both times last year. Lost to Washington just this past week. Washington is not as good as Seattle, and the 49ers played Seattle tough. What do you guys think, man? Rams at 49ers. Let's see. Okay. All right, we're still talking about the self-proclaimed GOAT. I feel you. It's a hilarious topic, and we can talk about it. We can talk about it as much as you guys want to talk about it. But I'd rather get into capping, man. So what do you guys think? Okay, here we go. Thomo is coming. I think the 49ers defense is solid. But Carolina and Seattle are both horrible offenses. And I do think the Rams have a better defense and are a slightly better team. Yes, I think you make a good point there. I'm not sure how bad Carolina's offense will end up being. Obviously, losing Olsen to injury is a big blow. Thomo says, I don't know if the Rams deserve to be favored on the road, though. I feel the same way. I don't know if this would be one of my top 5 picks, but I like the 49ers. I also like the under in this game, but I don't think that will be one of my top 5 picks. That is a Thursday nighter. It could be a fucking dud, like a lot of these Thursday nighters are. Could be a fucking dud of a game. I think that I don't have faith in Goff yet. Now, we got another guy coming in liking the under. I4 NITV liking the under. I think Goff is a lot like Alex Smith, like an Alex Smith 2.0. Now, there's nothing really wrong with that, but he's got small hands. He underthrows. He plays conservatively. Thomo says, I agree with you on Carolina's offense will be better this year, but Cam is still coming back slowly from shoulder surgery. Yeah, Thomo, I think that Cam will get better each week, just like Bowman will get better each week. These older players who are coming off of injuries will just get stronger as the week goes on. This is a tough Thursday nighter and could be just a fucking boring game. I am not going to make it as one of my 5 picks in the Beat the Bag competition. Let's move on to that. First game of Sunday will be in London, England. It is the 2-0 Ravens -4 versus the 1-1 Jags in London. This is an interesting game. Obviously, the Jags plummeted back to earth last week with a Titan drubbing. Harbaugh will come up with a plan for Fournette. Macklin looks really good for the Ravens. And I don't know, I don't have the exact number in front of me, but it feels like the Jaguars play in London every year, which will help that they have more experience crossing over to a different continent. I wonder what you guys think about this Ravens-Jaguars game. 39.5 is the over-under. Again, I don't think that I will use this as one of my 5. Oh, shit. Sorry. Lost you guys there for a sec. I don't think I will use this as one of my 5. Thomo comes in and says, the one thing I can't get over for the Jacksonville-Baltimore is Baltimore's run defense is one of the best in the NFL. I just can't bet Bortles. If I don't think Jacksonville can run, and he says he agrees that the experience helps. I really like Baltimore's run defense. I really like Baltimore's defense. Tim Riker says the air is stuffy in London. Factor that in. Well, I don't know if that's much of a help capping-wise. Stuffy? Is that what we say? The air is stuffy, Tim Riker? Thank you for that. I'll factor that in. The Robinson injury is big in my opinion. Harbaugh and a veteran team, I think they will be ready too. I agree with both those. I like the Ravens. I don't think there's going to be a lot of points scored in this game. I think Bortles is a bum. I was surprised to see how badly the Jaguars plummeted back to earth against the Titans. Now, the Titans are a very good football team and had a great week 1 going up against a very good Raiders game. I think the game is inside. Okay, Tomo. All right. Only football, big man comes in. Only football that should be played in London is Chelsea, Tottenham, and Arsenal. I agree. I'm not a big fan of these guys crossing the continent for these games. Who do you like in this game, big man? Ravens versus Jags. It's not an easy one. 4 points. I don't know. It's a tough one. All right. Okay, let's move on. If anybody wants to add into that Ravens-Jags game, please feel free to come in. I'm really excited. I don't know if you guys are, but I'm really excited about this next game that I'm going to talk about. It's the 0-2 Browns, 1-point favorites at the Colts. 40.5. And Big Man has come in. He thinks 23-13 Baltimore. I think that's a really good call. That's the under and Baltimore covering. I like that. I'm going to keep studying this action, but that seems like a good call there to me. So we got the 0-2 Browns, 1-point favorites at the Colts, 40.5. Now, I'm really excited about this. I'm excited about watching the Browns slowly get better. The Colts are only slightly better than the Jets to me. Now, the Browns have injury issues. Losing Corey Coleman really hurts. They already have such few playmakers. They can't afford to lose another one. We're all hoping to see Myles Garrett play. Who is Brissett supposed to throw the ball to? Not only is Indy's O-line terrible, they have no playmakers. I feel so bad for Frank Gore. I think the Browns have a few pieces in place. Let's see what you guys have to say. Tomo says, I think the Browns will be a more hungry team, and I think they are the better team. Arizona was in disarray with all those injuries. I like the Browns in this situation too. I think, obviously, the Cardinals are a shell of what people expected them to be. I mean, there was a lot of talk on people believing in this team, believing that they could win the division. I thought Big Man on Campus's call that the Rams would win the division was exciting, and it could be a huge moneymaker. Now, I don't necessarily believe that is the case, but I mean, in Gabriel Morency's lecture at the International Football Betting Conference, a huge chunk of it was how much he believed in this Cardinals team that now looks awful. So I don't take much from the Colts winning that game at home, and I hope to see Myles Garrett play. I like the Browns at -1, although I don't like it enough to make it one of my 5 plays in the beat the bag competition, but I like it. We got some other stuff on JD's going back to that to the London situation, saying don't bet London games, they're tough. 14NITV says Jags are still the Jags. He likes Baltimore to take care of business there. I like the Browns. I like the Browns at the Colts. I don't know what you guys think, but that's my call. Let's go down to the next game. Now, this is a game that I have put about 8 or 9 games, and I got something exciting to tell you guys in a bit, but I put about 8 or 9 games as games I'm really going to look at for the 5. Let's see a little more capping on this. Arizona had many key injuries with Lupati, Brown. It was second straight road game. So what do you think, Domo? You think that Arizona's got a lot more? Because I don't think they have much more. I think they're a bad football team, getting old fast. There's a few teams that seem to be getting old right in front of our eyes, and they are one of them to me. We'll see if anybody else wants to hammer in on that game. We can move on to the Steelers. 2-0 Steelers, -7.5 at the 0-2 Bears with a 45.5 point over/under. I like the Steelers in this situation. I like them a lot. We have a little bit more action on that Colts-Browns game. Thomo is saying, I'm saying I think the Colts win was overrated. Okay, I'm saying I think the Colts win was overrated. I agree. Sorry, okay, I feel you. You weren't making an excuse for the Cardinals. You were saying that the Colts win was overrated. Sorry, I kind of misplayed that. I'm with you. I think it's overrated. I like the Browns in this game. It might be a game that I'll put action on my own with, but I don't think it'll be one of my 5. But I'm with you. Alex Nogales comes in and says Arizona is overrated. They are. They look awful. I mean, it's easy for us to say now. I know a lot of people were hammering them at the beginning of the year. One thing that I changed with so a couple of things have changed with my gambling over the last little while. At the International Football Betting Conference, there was a lot of people giving us insight on how futures bets are always in favor of the books. Oh, I guess, yeah, White Guy Video Games, what Colts win? They lost. I'm really confused. Yeah, sorry, they lost 16-13, but, man, they took the Cards to overtime. I mean, you're right. Yeah, the Colts are 0-2, and the Cards won, but it was a I know I was surprised how bad the Cards were and how good the Colts were, and I guess for whatever reason I count that as a win for these fucking terrible Colts. Any college football, Jimmy, is a question. We can get into some college football near the end of this, but this is a NFL competition, my man. But thank you for joining us, and thank you for coming back, White Guy Video Games. Thomo comes in saying, I hammered Pittsburgh last week. I disagree with you here. Tomlin's teams are below 500 against below 500 teams. They always play down to the competition. Bears receivers suck, but defense is solid. Yes, I hear what you're saying, Thomo. I hear what you're saying, and that was my initial thought was, oh, well, yeah, we watch the Steelers play down to their competition. But the Bears are in trouble. The Bears have more injuries going on. The Bears, I think that the Steelers, who have so many weapons, could get stronger every week until they win the AFC Championship. Bryant looked good last week. That was a tough Viking defense that they were cutting through. Howard ran for 7 yards on 9 carries. After the game, his arm is in a sling. The Bears' O-line is terrible. They have no weapons. I mean, at first I was with you, Thomo, and then the more I studied this, I was like, the Steelers could beat this team badly. If you looked at the Bears' list of injuries, it's fucking long. And Thomo says, yeah, my bad. I mean, the Colts covered. Yeah, we were saying that wrong. JD says, Steelers is the obvious play, but Big Ben is shit on the road. Bears' entire offense was hurt last week. Waterboy was playing wide out. Check injury updates. Those are good points, JD. Those are good points. White Guy Video Games comes in and says, I like the under in the Bears game. Big Ben on the road and the lack of playmakers on Chicago. I think that is a sound bet. I like that. I like the Steelers here at -7.5. I think that the Bears. So I mean, JD's talking about the injuries. I was just talking about the injuries. How many of them are going to be healthy a week later? Howard did not look good. Thomo says, I'm not betting the Bears. Steelers are clearly the much better team. Bears likely won't be able to run either like they did against Atlanta. Absolutely. I think the Steelers are in a good spot. Now, my initial idea was that, yeah, we watch the Steelers play down to these teams like they did against the Browns in week 1, but the Bears didn't have enough depth to have injury problems. And that's what's been going on right now. I don't think they're going to be able to take care of business. And I think Trubisky's time is coming soon. Glennon looked fucking awful. They probably, hopefully for Trubisky, won't bring him in until they're officially eliminated, but we will see. Why don't we move on to the next game? This is another fun game because we get to bet against the Jets. This will likely be one of my top 5 games. It's the 1-0 Dolphins at -6, although I fucking hate Jay Cutler. 1-0 Dolphins at -6 at the 0-2 Jets with a 41.5 point over-under. Well, my best bet last week was the Raiders over the Jets. I took flack for it like I was just betting what the public thinks. It was a very simple play in my thought process. We got a couple more notes on the last game. The only thing is Steelers do play Ravens next week, so it's a bit of a sandwich game. That's a good point. They'll get a tired Ravens team coming back from England. So I think the Jets still could go 0-16. I've been saying it all year. I mean, we're only week 3. Their defense looks awful. Cutler is good enough to beat bad teams, and he looked better than I expected him to look. I'm looking forward to see him face a good pass rush. The Jets are awful, but I like the Dolphins here a lot. I think they can cover the 6 points. I wonder what you guys think about that. I was surprised that Cutler looked as good as he looked. The Dolphins are a good team, and I thought losing Tannehill, I'd be surprised if Cutler looks good for a full season. The guy's just not in shape, doesn't give a fuck. I mean, yeah, he can throw the ball high up in the air for someone to grab it, and he made a couple nice plays, but I just don't think he's very good. But I think the Dolphins are so much better than the Jets, and we all know the Jets are going to get that first overall draft pick and pick between Rosen or Allen. I like the Dolphins -6 here. Thomo comes in and says, the one thing about this game to me is how angry the Jets were about getting humiliated against Raiders. Jets are atrocious. I think at 6 it's tough. I would have definitely bet the Dolphins at 4. I hear that. So as a Jets fan, I agree a lot with you with that pick. The Jets are going to get better. Mets fan 72, thank you for joining us. They're going to get better, but they're just a really bad football team. Alex Nogales says Cutler's last chance. How long is Cutler going to look good for? Not long. But he might look good early in the season. He's going to get banged up. I like the Dolphins in this situation, -6. Mitchell Gagas, thank you for joining us, my man, says, I think 6 is very doable for the Dolphins here. I agree. I think it's very doable. I think a 10-point win is reasonable. White Guy Video Games comes in and says, Jets can't guard anybody. I expect Landry and Parker to play well. Dolphins have a good O-line. I expect Parker to play well, too. Landry always plays well. JD says, Jets didn't say they were angry. They said they were demoralized. Big difference. Interesting. That's an interesting point. There is a big difference. Thomo says, people forget Cutler did have several good years in Denver and Chicago with the right pieces around him. Case has had success with him before. That's true. I just think that he's going to get beaten up throughout the season. Now the O-line will protect him, and they have a good O-line. I guess I don't want my not being a Cutler fan to get too caught up in handicapping, but I just think that he's going to get hurt soon. I think the Dolphins -6 is a good play. I don't think it's going to be one of my 5 at this point, but it could be. Let's move on. You guys can keep hammering away at that, but let's move on. We have the 2-0 Broncos -3 points at the Bills with an over-under of 40 points. Well, I have some exciting news for the Beat the Bag competition. So we'll go into this game in a second. I'd like to move on to this Broncos-Bills game. We're about to CC. Oh, nice to have you, CC. Welcome back, my man. Alex Nogala says Cutler can't take a hit, right? Now, White Guy Video Games was talking about how good the O-line is in Miami, and thank God. Keep Cutler safe. Thomo says, I'm not a Cutler fan. He was horrible in Chicago for years as well. I just think it's a good fit in Miami. Could be right. Okay, let's go to this Denver-Buffalo game. So CC924 says, I don't get this Denver-Buffalo line. Open at Denver only -2, and now it's -3. Broncos will roll. I agree with you so much so that I made sure that I got the 3-point line, and I've already put it in as my best bet. I've already put it in as my best bet in the Beat the Bag competition. I wanted to grab it before it's -3.5 or -4. JD says this line is weird. Broncos -3 seems too obvious, but I'm on it. What are we supposed to do, man? We're supposed to take what's offered to us in sports gambling. Now, I know in sports gambling when something seems too good to be true, it usually is. But Broncos look good. Simeon looks fucking awesome. The Broncos just made the Cowboys look like clowns. Buffalo is about to go 0-3. Denver is better than Carolina. They will stack the box against McCoy. I love the Broncos in this spot. -3. I love it. CC says nice will only go up. I agree. Vincent Thomas says bet Broncos. I agree. Rocky Top Guy, thanks for joining us, man. Damn, I'm late to the chat. What's up, J-Bag? What up, Cabbage and Punters? Thanks for coming, my man. Bills are trash. Thomo says, I agree it's a tough bet, but I bet the Bills at +3. Wow, interesting. It's a small bet for me. I just think it's a tough spot for Denver off a big win with Oakland on deck. Simeon is a totally different quarterback on the road. I don't think we have enough sample size with Simeon. 7th-round pick, second year in the NFL. I don't think it's fair to say he's not a good road quarterback yet. I hear what you're saying. I think it's exciting that you're on that angle, Tomo. I always think your capping is exciting. I just think the Broncos is too good to be true. I already locked it in as my best bet to make sure I got the -3. I guess I should start hammering parlays to that action because I don't know what the money line is right now. Let's fucking check it out right now. Get that money line up. What Guy Video Game says, I think if you want the Bills, you probably should have waited. Line will probably go up. I think that's a good point. Thomo says, I just think Bills front seven is good enough to stop the run and get pressure on Simeon. I agree Simeon in the second year could be better. I hammered Denver to win the division at +260. That's a good bet. Thomo says, I do like Denver this year. Agree with you there. Cynthia says, keep Jimmy in the douche biz. Keep Jimmy in the douche biz. Give him a like. That is sweet of you, Cynthia. Thank you for giving me that love. Keep me in the douche biz, man. Vincent says if you're going to take the Bills, take a money line. Otherwise, bet Broncos. Alternative line up to -10. Wow. Wow. So let's see right now the money line in that game. -161 for Denver. Man, I think the Broncos are going to fucking roll. I think it'll be low scoring. What is the over-under? Let's grab it. Over-under's at 40 points. Over-under's at 30 points. Mitchell Shagas has come in and says he agrees with White Guy Video Games that Thomo maybe should have waited. You know, if Thomo likes that action, he can hammer it again when it comes to it. But yeah, so that's my best bet. My best bet is in. My best bet is in. Oh, and I didn't even get to where I was in this past week in the Beat the Bag competition. I went 3-1-1 and got back in this motherfucker. I hit my best bet, and I'm at plus 0.48. What the fuck am I? I'm at 0.42. I'm at plus 0.42 units. But I climbed 500 spots. And at least I'm beating the O and O's, man. I had to get past the zeros and zeros. Tomo says it's going to take a lot of money. I agree. It's going to take a lot of money to get off the 3. It's purely a situational play to me. I just think Denver might be looking ahead. Hey, Tomo, I dig your style, man. I'm taking the Broncos. Vincent Thomas says it's going to be Broncos 27-9. I don't know if it'll even be that high scoring, but that's the under. The under is not a bad play. The under is not a bad play. Let's roll to the next game. This is another interesting game that I had some difficulties with. It's the 1-1 Texans. Oh, and Alex Nogala says weather. Check it. Good idea. That is a good idea, but it's so hot. I live a fucking hour and a half from Buffalo right now, and it's hot as fuck. So, I mean, we could have a rainstorm or something like that. Cynthia says, I took Broncos -3. I got it too. Vincent's going back to the Steelers win. Oh, he's back in the douche again. Thank you, Tim, for that. Back in the douche again. Okay, Texans 1-1 at Patriots 1-1. Patriots are -13, and the over/under is 43.5 points. This is a big spread against a good D. The Pats look good against a bad Saints defense, a really bad Saints defense, and may not have Gronkowski. The Texans offense can't score, but Watson will gain confidence with every outing. This is a big spread against a good D. I don't know what you guys think. I mean, obviously the Patriots are going to win this game. That's obvious to me. But are they going to handle it by 13? Let's see. Vincent Thomas says Pats easy win. Pats going to roll. Same spread as playoffs. I guess you're right. It is same spread as playoffs. Good call, Vincent. Kevin Simon says love Texans in a teaser and under. I think that's interesting. Move them to +19. Move the over-under to 49.5. I think that's a great teaser, Kevin Simon. I'm with you. Thomas says, I think the Patriots will run the hurry-up offense and mitigate the Houston pass rush. Brady is great at short, quick passes to fast receivers. I think Pats improved D with extra time after the KC game. And Houston has no running game. Those are all good points. Those are all good points. I think the Patriots are going to win. I really like that teaser, Kevin Simon. I think you're really on to something. But the Patriots could just fucking destroy the Texans. Always a possibility. I'm not sure what to do with this one. It's not going to be one of my 5, but it could be something where I do adjust the line and tie things to the Patriots. I adjusted the line way too much with the Patriots game this past week. I brought it down to -2.5, got -220 at that. That didn't make much sense and was disappointing. I mean, the Patriots were clearly going to take out all their anger on the Saints last week, and I should have made more money off that game. Domo says, I hit Patriots at -13. If the Pats were 2-0, I think they might be flat, but they're 1-1. They need to stay focused. Houston's secondary isn't the same with Joseph banged up and Bouye gone. Good points, man. JD says, Houston Texans, where is the throw-up emoji? Isn't enough. Pats D will annihilate whatever QB Houston tosses in there. -13 on a teaser play. No, Kenobi says, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but says Pats roll. I hear you guys. I like the Pats in this game. 13's a lot of points. I don't know. We'll see, but I feel you guys. Let's move on to the 0-2 Saints at the 2-0 Panthers. -5.5, 47.5 points. Big man on campus is touching with that Texans Patriots game. He's saying over 43.5. I feel you. Houston losing Cushing is also a big loss. Fucking druggy. Vincent Thomas says he thinks it's going to go under. No need to apologize, big man. He's doing just fine, man. Doesn't need your fucking apologies, Vincent. Yeah, I think I'm going to study the Texans-Patriots game more. I know that Watson will gain confidence. I'm not sure if they're going to get a lot of points. Nobi says Pats might go over by themselves. K-Man says over on the teaser. Big Ben says Vincent is a sidekick. Okay. Not going to be paying any money for that. Let's move on. Saints, Panthers. So Saints are bad. We know that. Their defense is awful. I'm surprised they're benching Vaccaro. Doesn't make sense. Panthers offense is going to get better. Newton's shoulder will get stronger. Benjamin is hard to cover in the red zone. Thomo says, I really like Carolina here. I think the Bills' front seven is tougher than people realize. I think Carolina will be able to run and move the ball well on this horrible Saints defense. Saints have no Armstead, no Cooks, no Snead. He's right. I like the Panthers in this too. I also like the under in this, and maybe I'll take some more time to study it. I think Panthers will be able to move the ball, but they'll move the ball slowly. And we don't know if the Saints will be able to move the ball very well. Let's see. Mitchell Gagas says, I think this is the week for Carolina's offense to go off. Well, there's the right spot against the Saints. They're fucking terrible. I like the Panthers in this spot, -5.5. I think they cover by over a touchdown, personally. I think this is a good spot. I'm not necessarily going to use it as one of my 5. Nobody says big plays in this one. Okay. I feel you. I mean, we know the Panthers' offense is going to be easier to defend without Olsen playing. So I don't know how big the plays are going to be. White Guy Video Game says, what playmakers does Carolina have besides Benjamin and McCaffrey? Though I'm on that page, man. I think the Panthers will move the ball methodically against the Saints. I kind of like the over in this one. Thomo says the Saints will be desperate and Carolina has New England on deck. But Cam is much better at home. I think he's facing a defense much worse than the 49ers and the Bills. I agree. Olsen will hurt against good defenses. I'm not sure it matters here. I don't know. It can't help losing your best receiver. So I think the Panthers are a nice play. Let's move on. But feel free to keep hammering it. The next game is a really interesting game. It's the 2-0 Falcons, -3 at the 2-0 Lions. 49 points over under. This is exciting. How good did Big Play Slay look last night? He looked fucking amazing. He completely eliminated OBJ, completely eliminated Marshall. Stafford looks good this year. Let's say it out loud. The highest paid player in the year looks good this year. But he's 4-56 versus teams over 500. That's fucking awful. Beasley injury really hurts the Falcons. I have a question for you guys, man. Is it home or the dome that helps the Falcons, that helps Matt Ryan? Home or the dome? Matt Ryan might be right at home in this dome. Let's see what you guys think. Thomas is still going over. He wants to bet 10 grand on the over. Hey, man, there's books you can take money from. I don't think you need to take money from us. Okay, Kanaka, Maoli, welcome, man. Thank you for joining us. He says that it's the home. It's not the dome. Domo says, I really think Detroit is the play here. To me, it's a flat spot for Atlanta, and Detroit will want to show they're legit. I will wait to see if I can get 3.5 or 4. Hit Atlanta against win division. I hit Atlanta, okay, on the win division at +110. Oh, Big Man disagrees. Big Man on campus says Atlanta 34, Lions 21. Ooh, wow. You can make a shitload on that adjusting the line. Rocky Top Guy says Falcons -3 and the over. Vincent Thomas says Detroit 34-21, the opposite. Wow. Wow, well, you can make there's some money to be made on this game. JD says 4-56 is a strong stat. Falcons in the over. This is exciting. How much better is Stafford now? He's matured, that's clear. Is he going to be able to be a different quarterback this year? This is a huge test. This is a huge test, and it won't be one of my 5. But I like this, man. I like that you guys are totally opposite of each other. This is a tough test for the Lions, man. It's going to be a great game to watch. All right. So you guys have come in. White Guy V. If I'm it's hot as fuck in Toronto right now, and I got to turn my fans off so my audio sounds good. So if you see me wiping sweat off my face, you'll know that it's not that I'm tired. I'm ready to fucking rock. I'm just hotter than a motherfucker. Okay. White Guy Video Game says, I like Falcons first half because Stafford is great in most fourth quarters. Vince Thomas says, #1 paid NFL player. Prove is Matthew. I think Stafford is better than people realize. I won't bet game at 3, but he moves well and is finally focused. I think he got a big contract and knew the team sucked. Wasn't focused enough before. Thomas says, I need 4 in my opinion. Logan LaRue, we have a new man on the box, says the D-backs a lock tonight. You know I got $600 on different D-backs action. It's the only game I picked. Logan, if you watch Betting with the Bag today. This is a football show, and that game won't be starting till after we're done here. But I really like, if you guys want for a second, if we could jump into this baseball just for a quick second, I really like Zach Godley. I think his curveball is fucking awesome. So many swings and misses. He's throwing at a 32% whiff rate right now. Padres pitcher looks fucking bad, man. And both when he was on the Royals and the Padres, ERA was over 6. I know he's not going to allow 15 runs every 4 innings like he has lately, but yeah, I think the D-backs are a lock tonight, my man. Do you have him, Logan? Let me know. But let's stay on football. Yeah, and Mitchell says in the fate of Travis Wood, oh, come on. Take that all day. I'm with you, man. It just felt very easy. But we know that that's not how sports gambling works. But Falcons are minus 2.5 at 5 dimes. CC 924 is coming and drop. Let's keep rolling with this. So Falcons, Lions, man, you guys seem to be on different sides. I don't know what I'm going to study this game more. I'm very excited to watch it. If this was week 10 or 11, it'd be much easier to deliver an idea and back it. It's going to be hard right now. Oh, we got Q Wilson. Nice to have you, man. Pump the brakes. Nice to have you, man. Thomo is here. I just feel like Atlanta off Super Bowl aren't going to be focused against non-divisional teams every week. I know. Sorry, JD. We're back on NFL. Let's move on. 0-2 Giants at 1-1 Eagles. This is a game I may be taking in the beat the bag competition. I like the Eagles in this spot. It is hard not to. The Giants have looked appalling. There is simply no reason to believe in them. All the talk in the offseason was about how good the Giants were going to be, how incredible the Giants were going to be. Only one man I listened to, big man on campus, said, pump those brakes. He did not think the Giants were going to be that good. And fuck, was he ever right? Okay, so Thomo says, I agree. Giants suck. The Lions do look good. The whole team was hurt last year. Okay, let's move and Vincent, Eagles, Giants suck. Eagles won, so here's big man. Eagles won and covered 3 of 4 versus the Giants. Eagles home opener, defensive line rolling. I like it. Call Cordo Funeral Home. There's going to be a murder in South Philadelphia Sunday. Given name of deceased, Alicia Nelson Manning. Ooh, I like it, big man. I like it. Everyone taking Eagles all day. Hard to say that as a Giants fan. Wonder what the Eli sack prop will be. Over whatever it is, Rocky Top Guy says. Yeah, maybe, but I remember they had Megatron. Okay. Mitchell's with Logan. I'm agreeing with you guys, man. The Giants look fucking terrible. So pretty clear that line is going to change. Might want to get in while it's -5. Domo comes in and says, Jimmy, I think one angle people are missing with the Giants is we all know the offense sucks, but Jenkins being out is huge, and their middle linebacker Goodson is out too. Defense is not the same either. I agree. CC924 says Giants offensive line looks pathetic. Tim Reichert says Giants are Matty Ice's favorite team, and he won't bet them. That's good. That's how fucking bad they are. How did this happen so fast, man? Big man was on it. Eagles home opener too. Eagles should be ready. McAdoo even threw Eli under the bus. You're right, White Guy Video Games. McAdoo even threw Eli under the bus for that not getting that playoff at the goal line. No one in the organization has faith. Nogala says Philly. She says the Giants suck. Manning looking old. Well, we're all on the same page here, man. I already have the Broncos in as my best bet, but got to take the Eagles -5 here. It's going to be a killing after midnight. Tomo says, I do think if Jenkins plays, it's a different defense since Apple sucks. Eagles running game is garbage. Okay, I feel you there. I don't know garbage, but it's not strong. The Eagles are a team on the rise. Vincent Thomas says Manning has a lazy eye developed when he was sacked last year. Is that a joke, man? Developed a lazy eye? Oh, big man. It sucks when the best team in New York is Fordham University. Kanaka says Philly all day. Giants are horrible versus Eagles. Well, I like this Eagles action. Seems like we're all on board here. Eagles are going to fuck up the Giants. God, what happened to this Giants team? They fell apart so fast. It's incredible how fast these things change. Eagles looking good. Giants are fucking joke, man. Fucking joke. Bring Coughlin back. All right, let's move on. This is a really interesting line. Curious to see what you guys think of this. I'll move on to it in a second. Tomo says Eagles secondary is scary too, but I think they will be fine here with the pass rush. I think they're going to be just fine. And will likely make that as one of my 5 games. What Guy Video Game says Giants spent so much money on defense that they forgot people actually had to block on offense. That is a good point. Mitchell says, I had so much hope for this season. Fuck, LOL. Funny, man. And Tomo says, good point, White Guy. Yeah, it is a good point, man. It's funny how these fucking experts have no respect for the offensive line. It's unfucking believable. Look what happened to the Falcons as soon as they got a center. How the Bengals don't put money into an offensive line when you have all these fucking playmakers is just fucking beyond me. What the fuck is wrong with these guys? Oh, Patrick Barber, nice to have you, man. Welcome. He says Bills win games like this. Bills stout D. Denver prime for a letdown. You know, I hear you, Patrick. I like the Bills team. I think they're better than people make them out for. Their defense is obviously really strong. I think we're going to find value with the Bills throughout the year. I just don't think so here. Vincent Thomas says Eagles will fly. Nogado says my mortgage on Philly. Respect. Thomo says Atlanta was the only team in the NFL last year that had 5 healthy offensive linemen all year. Best offense in the NFL too. That is such a good point. I mean, yeah, they were lucky to have them stay healthy all year, but look how fast things changed once they had an offensive line. And here you have these fucking football experts not giving any fucking respect to them. Their teams deserve to fucking lose. Zampese deserved to lose his fucking job. All right, let's keep rolling. So this game I'm really excited about. You guys know I'm a Seabirds fan. I'm curious to see what you guys think of the Seahawks, 1-1 Seahawks at the 1-1 Titans. -3. 43 points is the over-under. Well, we all know that the Titans have looked much better than the Seahawks at this early point in the season. The issue with the Seahawks is clearly their offense is fucking terrible. They've scored 1 touchdown against an exhausted 49er defense that was on the field for 100 snaps, and they barely got that touchdown in. Vincent Thomas says Seahawks bounce back 38-27. Jesus, Vincent, I can't feel that. I can't feel that, and I'm a Seahawks fan, and I can't feel that. I just can't imagine their offense doing much. I can't. Thomo says, I think the Seahawks are the play here. I know the Seahawks offensive line sucks, but I think Seattle played to the level of competition against San Francisco, and I think the Titans have holes in the secondary. And then White Guy Video Games is with me. He says, how the hell are the Seahawks going to score 38 points? More like 17-14. You know, Thomo, the Seahawks got to show that they can move the ball, and they haven't done that. Is Carson the new star running back? How's that fucking possible? Thomo says, I do not believe in Mariota. Jacksonville's defense was tired and demoralized because Bortles was trash all year. Vincent Thomas says the defense can score. Yeah, they can score. Thomas says, and then Vincent says, we will see. Vincent, I dig your style, man. I like your calls are exciting. You've got the Lions to beat the Falcons by 13. You got the Seahawks to beat the Titans. If any of these calls are right, you're going to be fucking rich. Rocky Top Guy says, name says it all. Titans +3. Oh, he's going to tease it. You're going to tease it, I guess. Get the +3. But it's a -3 right now. I like the Titans in this spot. I just think that the Seahawks haven't proved they can move the ball. Until they do that, why should we give them any respect? My boy CC924 says, I think Seattle comes in pissed off. Covers easily. Wow. I'm surprised. I'm surprised you guys are feeling this way. Interesting. I was surprised that the line was only 3 points. Are you saying after watching these teams for 2 weeks, you think they're even football games or even football teams? White Guy Video Game says Jimmy Graham this year has 4 receptions for 9 yards. Their offense looks absolutely terrible. They've got to do something. And what can they possibly do? I don't know. Thomo says, I agree with CC. I think Seattle's offense was so atrocious they will be angry and focused here. I think it's a tough game, but I think Seattle has some value in my opinion. You know, I feel you guys. Let's see what the money line is on them right now. It's +135. It's a dog. I don't know if it's live enough. Justin Emmert, what up? Thank you for joining us, my man. Says, I think Seattle won't even score 10 points. That's a little harsh. I think Thomo's right. There are holes in this Titans secondary. But Thomo says Seattle was so stupid to trade Graham for Unger. Offensive line fell apart. You're absolutely right. Again, no respect for the offensive line. Big Man on Campus says Tennessee 21-20. I think that's an interesting call. 43 points is the over-under. I would lean to more where Big Man is saying Alex Nogales likes Tennessee. I can't wait to watch this football game. It's going to be extremely enjoyable. I am a Mariota fan. I just hope that he doesn't become a broken quarterback. And I can't believe the Seahawks thought that they could go into the season with this offense. They're just fucking bad, man. They're just bad. They can't move the ball. And that 49er defense, they had no Reuben Foster. They were on the field all game long, and the Seahawks couldn't take advantage of that. It was bad. All right, let's move on to this game, I think, but feel free to hammer whatever games you want. Okay, Thomo says, I just think that Bortles was so atrocious against Tennessee that Jacksonville's defense eventually fell apart and got tired. There's some truth to that. White Guy Video Game says, statistically, the Jets have a better offense than Seattle. Jesus. I guess you're right, man. That is fucking pathetic. What the fuck are they doing over there? Tim Reichert says, I like the Big Man throwing out score predictions. Man, of course. Respect, Big Man. Thank you for joining us today. Let's move on, man. Let's go. 2-0 Chiefs. -3 at the 0-2 Chargers. 45.5 points is the over-under. Well, I was a little surprised at this line, but I guess it's an important divisional game, and it's a must-win for the Chargers. But they are simply not good enough to beat the Chiefs. KC handled losing star Eric Berry very well versus the Eagles. I had the Eagles to cover last week. I thought the loss of Eric Berry was going to be massive, and they seemed to handle it okay. Let's see. Vincent Thomas says Chiefs will win 32-27. I think that's obviously it's a really high-scoring game, Vincent. You're saying it's going to go 14 points over. I don't think the Chargers will be able to score 27 points. Mitchell says Chiefs hammer the Chargers here. I don't know. I don't know if they're going to hammer them, but they're going to beat them. Chargers are just not a team that hammers other teams, Thomo says the Chiefs' defense has holes with Barry out. Eagles had no running game. Yeah. I think the Chargers will be desperate here, but Chargers' defense sucks with Barrett out. I feel you. Big Man on Campus says, don't forget, guys, Minnesota, Tampa. Oh, yeah. No, I got that here. We're going to talk about that next. Buccaneers at Vikings because unlisted. But I feel you. Thanks for the heads up, Big Man. What Guy Video Game sees? I see 27-21 Chiefs. I think that's a more likely score. Rocky Top Guy says, Koo will kick 8 field goals this game and make 2. Fuck, poor Koo, man. Just getting it from all fucking angles. Guy's not going to have a job soon. It's not look good. He's cost them 2 games. You just can't do that if you're just an idiot kicker, as my man Peyton would say. I like the Chiefs in this spot, -3. I like the Chiefs a lot. I think this could be one of my 5. I don't know what you guys think. Domo says, I think the over might have value with these defenses. Smith isn't the same quarterback on the road, though. I feel you. Big Man, what do you think of Chiefs at Chargers? Curious to see what you think. Domo says Chiefs' offensive line was trash against the Eagles. Yeah, and they still beat them pretty comfortably. I mean, not that comfortably, obviously. The score wasn't the right example of how the game was played. I like the Chiefs here. POP says, what about the Rams stomping the 49ers? Well, we hit that game earlier, POP, and I don't feel that way. I don't think the Rams will stomp the 49ers. I don't think the Rams are that good of a football team, and I think the 49ers defense is better than we all thought they would look without Foster. I think if there's a play on that Thursday nighter, it's the under. But we kind of already went over that game, my man. But we can talk about it a little more. So Chiefs and Chargers, man. I like the Chiefs at -3. I know what you guys are saying. So then we have the Buccaneers-Vikings game that's unlisted. We don't know if Bradford's going to play. Hopefully we never have to watch Case Keenum playing ever again. He's terrible. The Bucs look fucking awesome. They are going to be a tough team to beat. I'm looking forward to see what they do against this Vikings defense. Tomo says no one wants to talk about the 49ers-Rams anymore. It could be just an atrocious football game. Vincent says Bucs upset. Well, the Bucs are going to be the favorite here. I mean, I guess if Bradford, I wonder what the line will be if Bradford's playing, but I really think that I wonder what you guys think the line is going to be if Bradford's in the lineup. I mean, if the Vikings were favored, they couldn't be more than a 2-point favorite with Bradford in the lineup. I don't know how much handicapping will we want to do until we know if it's Case Keenum playing or not. I sure do love this Vikings defense, and I like watching them all year, and I love watching them at home. I think there's a lot of value with this team, and we just have to wait. Someone says, I bet the Bucs last week, but as you said, the Bears literally have 0 at receivers. I think Tampa Bay will be overrated. Obviously, can't bet if Bradford doesn't play. I feel you. Vincent says he thinks it'll be a pick'em. Yeah, you might be right. I might be wrong with the -2 Vikings favorite. It might just be a pick'em. But we don't need to hammer this too much until we find out. White Guy Video Game says the books valued Bradford being worth 4 points. Vikings quarterback situation is awful. Yeah. Justin Emmert says Bucs-Viking games I think is too risky to bet between key injury. Only one game for Tampa. I feel you. Pop says divisional West Coast game. Why not? Oh, he wants us to talk about the fucking Niners more, man. It's all good. Get to the show on time, motherfucker. Thomo says Tampa Bay's offensive line isn't very good in my opinion. I think Minnesota will create problems. Winston has had issues with turnovers. I fucking love this Vikings D. I hope Bradford's ready to play just to watch and study and learn from this game. This is a really fun game. I'm looking forward to see what you guys think of this. Bengals 0-2 and looking awful have fired Zampese at the 1-1 Packers -9, 44.5 points over under. Thomo says Bradford is definitely worth more than 4 if Keenum is backup. I agree. Keenum likely got no reps with first team in the preseason. I agree Bradford's worth more than 4 points. I was impressed with the Bradford-Thielen combination week 1, man. They look like the real deal. All right, so let's yes, Vincent says they should have fired the coach. They should fire everybody. They should fire especially whoever handled their draft. Zampese was fired. What direction will the Bengals offense go in? Vince says never won a playoff game. You're right. You're right. He should be. Marvin Lewis should be fired. Bengals are looking as bad as my Giants. Jesus, Mitchell Shaggers. Yeah, they are. They look fucking worse than your Giants, man. They do. Rocky Top says Pack -9 and over. You know what? What if the Pack going to put up 45 points on their own? D. Patrick, what up, man? Thanks for joining us. Says take player, quarterback, wide receiver props over on the team that plays the Saints is easy money. That Saints D is Swiss cheese. I agree with you. We've moved on, but I agree with you that Saints defense is fucking awful. White Guy Video Game says Bengals logic. We're going to score 30 points per game now because we fired our offensive coordinator. It doesn't matter that the O-line can't block. One of my close buddies is sure that Dalton's going to be benched, which I think is probably not going to happen. Tomo says, I think there's some value with Green Bay. The number one issue for me is Green Bay's offensive line. It's the same with Beluga out and Lang gone. Bengals can rush the passer. Yeah, the Bengals' defense isn't god-awful. Tomo says, I think if you like the Bengals, bet the over. They have 0 chance to cover, in my opinion, in a high-scoring game. I am with you. I like the Packers -9 a lot. It probably will be one of my 5 picks. JD says, scared to bet the Packers until Rodgers makes his annual media pep talk speech. That's a good point, man. That's a real good point. Until he either tells us to relax or he says that they're going to win out, man. I feel you. Oh, Thomas says, I mean under. I think you're right, Tomo. I would not take the over because I don't think the Packers are going to put up 40 points, and I don't think the Bengals are going to put up 10 points. Vincent Thomas dropping the score. I like it. Vincent Thomas says Green Bay 34, Bengals 21. I don't think the Bengals scored 21 points. But I like I like your style, Vincent, man. I like you coming in with your scores and your wild predictions. I dig it, my man. I like the Packers. They will likely be one of my 5 picks. Bengals are terrible. It doesn't matter if Zampese's on the sidelines or not. Although I did say before this fucking season started that Zampese was going to be fired. I just didn't think it'd be fucking 14 days later. All right, next game. 2-0 Raiders. -3 at the Redskins. Over under 54 points. I was surprised at this line. I don't know about you guys, but I was surprised at this line. Let's get the last few comments on the Packers game here. Thomo says, I think Green Bay first half might have some value to avoid backdoor cover. That's interesting. I think Green Bay comes strong off the loss. Bengals O-line on the road should struggle. I agree with all that, and I like the Packers a lot in this game. I'll have to figure out how to take advantage of it financially. 2-0 Raiders, -3 at Redskins. Vince Thomas. I don't know if that's a spelling mistake. But he's got Oakland 125, Washington 27. Be surprised if the Raiders can put up a century. Raiders look fucking awesome. I think this is a disrespectful line to the Raiders. They look so good. Now the Jets aren't a legitimate example, but the Titans are. You know? All right, so if you give 3 points to the home team, that's what we usually do in the NFL. Are you saying the Raiders are only 6 points better than the Redskins? White Guy Video Game says, I like Oakland. Redskins had a lot of injuries last week. Reed did not return. Huge potential loss. You're right. Rocky Top Guy likes Raiders -3. I do too. I think this is very likely to be one of my 5 games. These last two, Packers -9, Raiders -3. Thomo says, I think it's tough to lay 3 or more points with the Raiders defense on the road against a solid offense like Washington. I think the over has some value. I think the over has some value too, but 54 points is a lot of points. I like the Redskins offense. You know, I think Cousins can step up. I like Terrell Pryor. I always have. I think that the 54 points is a lot, but it's attainable. I like the -3 line for the Raiders. I think this is a game I'm going to hammer. See anybody else going to come in, or we move on to our final game, the Monday Nighter, which could be fucking awful. D. Patrick, my man, says you're definitely paying a premium on the Raiders. Their market perception is high. You're right. You're right. What do you think the line should be? I thought the line should be a -4, -5. Mitchell Shagger says all over the Raiders here. It's hard not to really like this football team. The Raiders' defense has been good, but this is a big step up in competition after Mariota and McNown. You're right, Thomo. I don't know how big of a step it is up over the Titans. You know, but it's definitely a huge step up with the Jets. The Jets are fucking terrible, man. The Jets look awful. They're having semen sponge baths in the dressing room after games. Their defense was broken by the Raiders in that last game, and they were embarrassed by Marshawn's sideline dance. The Raiders' season win total is only 9.5. That's wild. D. Patrick. Oh, so Thomo is saying that every Sharp is saying the Raiders will regress. That's interesting. Raiders' defense has been good, but this is a big step up in competition. D. Patrick says, yeah, I'm hoping a Redskins win. Have the Raiders under 9.5. I think this is an interesting spot for a teaser. You know, get those points lower, take the over, take the Raiders at +3 or something like that. I feel you guys. Let's move on to the final game, the Monday Nighter. I'm not excited about this football game. It's the 1-1 Cowboys -3 at the 1-1 Cardinals. The over-under is 47 points, and I like the under in this situation. These are two teams that can't score. The fuck is Zeke's story, man? Why was he pouting on the bench? The Cardinals' defense, their run defense especially, is not nearly as good as the Broncos' run defense. So Zeke should probably get that smile back on his face a little bit. I thought the Cards looked fucking awful against the Colts. I'm curious to see what you guys think. I like the under the best. Wow. Vince Thomas thinks Arizona's going to kick the shit out of the Cowboys. 20-3. I don't know about that, man. Oh, it says 20-10. Okay. I think you should keep going up with that. But I like the under, man. 47 points is a lot of points. Mitchell thinks that's bold, and he laughs out loud. Vince Thomas is a bold motherfucker, man. That's how he does. He puts out bold scores. Rocky Top Guy thinks it's hilarious. Thomo says, I bet Arizona. Interesting. I think the Cardinals had so many injuries, and it was the second straight road game. I do think the Cardinals' run defense is solid. Okay. I think Dallas secondary is horrible with Skandrick out. Good points. Some guy who's not being involved in our show at all wants us to follow him on Instagram. No, thank you. How about that? How about I don't follow you on Instagram? Okay. I think that the under is the play. Cowboys at Cardinals. I think the under is the play. Thomo's got Arizona, which is interesting. Vince Thomas also doesn't want to follow you on Instagram. He says, okay. Okay. BOP says Cards dominated first string when they played in the preseason. Okay. He wants to bet on college. This is an NFL show, Pop. You can tell us who you like in the college circuit this week, and we can talk a bit about it. But this is an NFL show. Damien Osborne apologizes. Hey, don't be sorry, Damien. We just don't know who the fuck you are, and we don't know why we should follow you on Instagram. You haven't been involved in this show whatsoever, and then you come on asking for us to follow you. Do you have a lot of hot sleuths on your Instagram? Why don't you pitch it to us, Damien? Why don't you tell us why we should follow your ass on Instagram? Thomo says, I think Arians will have an extra week to figure out how to retool the offense against a bad Cowboys secondary. Brown and Lupati injuries are obviously big. Mitchell says, if John Brown is out for the Cards, I don't think we have to worry about how banged up Dallas secondary is. If you aren't confident about sides, I definitely agree on the under. Mitchell agrees on the under. I like the under. I like the under a lot. I will definitely be making bets on the under. I just don't know if it will make my top 5. After all that we've said, I feel like, and all that we've talked about, I feel like I might have jumped the gun a tiny bit, grabbing the Broncos as my best bet. Only because I like the Eagles -5.5, but I'm fine with that. Now, my man, Patrick Barber, likes the Bills in this situation, but I don't. I really like the Broncos here. Wilson says Arizona's 10-2. Oh, unders are 10-2 at home. Interesting. Thank you for that info, Wilson. That's great. I'm going to stop mentioning anything that Damien Osborne says on the chat. He now wants to know if any of us watch WWE. This is a football show, man. Okay. Mitchell wants to know who the fuck he is. Why don't you follow him on Instagram, Mitchell? Enjoy that. We've been doing this show for an hour and 10 minutes, man. It's time to pour a fucking drink and roll a bat and do some more studying. Vincent Thomas says Bills have to prove themselves before I start rating them with my money. I feel you, man. Thomo says, I really think if Jenkins is out, it's a big deal since Eagles are so dependent on the passing game. Eagles have played well in these spots. Home opener. I think you're right, man. I think you're right. Why don't before we shut it down, you guys throw your best bets and the games you like the most at me. JD likes Broncos and the Raiders money line parlay. Should pay well. You're right. It will pay well. I like that bet as well. JD, I don't know if you follow me on Twitter. I think you do, but I don't know if you do. I might run with you on this. Why don't you hit me with like a private message or something? And I think I run. I think we ride Broncos Raiders together. I like it. All right, you guys. If any of you guys also want to drop your best bets of the week, feel free. But thank you guys for being a part of this and watching. Good luck this week. Let's get that fucking cash, man. The Seahawks really fucked me in the goat hole, right in the brown eye, got me right in the fucking bottom mouth. I moved that line. I adjusted to 9.5. I thought that was going to be a sure thing. Everything else was so fucking easy. There's no reason why I shouldn't have had some fucking wins. Thomo says, I definitely like the games better last week, but I like Carolina -5.5. I feel you. Sweet JD says he will hook up with. Thank you. White Guy Video Games, my pleasure, man. Thank you, White Guy Video Games. You're a really strong capper, man. I dig your thoughts, so thank you for being a part of this. Vince Thomas says Steelers. Vince Thomas says your Steelers. Okay. Mitchell Shea says the Chiefs for me. Some guy named W says the South Florida Bulls. Domo says Seattle had a lot of chances in that game. They just have so many negative plays with sacks. It was extremely fucking irritating because so much action was so fucking easy. The parlay, I adjusted the line for the Steelers game. I adjusted the line for the Raiders game, just the line for the Patriots game, and I tied that all. With the Seahawks, I was getting plus 370. It was such an easy situation, I thought, and I fucked it up. Wilson says Buffalo 8-1 overs at home. Interesting. That's a good note. Thank you for sharing that with us. That's a good note. I just don't see how it could go over in this game. Buffalo's offense does not look good. They seem like a pretty easy team to defend against. You just stack the box, force them to throw the ball, because if you don't let Shady make plays, then how are they going to beat you? I don't know. I do know this, man. We can't do this show without you guys. W says he thinks the Green Bay will destroy the Bengals. We like that. Tomo says Buffalo has no receivers this year. Really need Denver to be flat to go over. I agree. Rocky Top Guy, Packers -9, best bet. I think you're on the right track, Rocky Top Guy. I think you're on the right track with that Packers game. Thank you guys all so much for watching, man. Let's get that fucking cash, man. Let's take what's fucking ours and go get it. Thank you for watching. Let's pour ourselves a drink. The Diamondbacks game is just about to start. Let's get that fucking cake, man. Get that cake. Most importantly, though, thank you guys for watching. And thank you guys for being a part of this, man. You guys are some really strong cappers, and it means a lot. My pleasure, Alex. Vince Thomas says Steelers money line, KC -3, Green Bay -9 parlay. I like it. I like that. I like that, Vincent. I could run with you on that. Hit me at Jimmy the Bag on Twitter. I'll make sure to follow you guys back so that we can direct message, but I like that. Domo says, LOL, I just realized you have a Redskins hat on, but love the Raiders. Yeah, man. Hey, man, I just want to make money. My favorite team is whoever I got fucking money on, man. Let's get that fucking cake, you guys. And thanks again for being a part of it, man. We got a lot of shit coming up, and we got betting with the bag all week, and I will put out my video of my picks on Thursday. And let's beat the fucking books, man. We need fatter pockets, hotter salutes. You guys have a great night. Thanks for being a part of this.